So, I don't know if this is gonna make sense. It's literally just a very short video. I'm recording, or I just recorded a song called The Flame in the Mirror. Okay. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. This is gonna sound mean. Okay. The flame in the mirror. It's a hard word to say. Not really, but like, I don't know. I kind of accidentally say it like mirror, like meerkat. But it's like, it's not one, it's a mirror, like, it's a mirror, you know? I don't know. So, anyway, The Flame in the Mirror is about essentially a world or a town. I wrote it a while ago, but I just never performed it, like put it out in the world. So I don't remember if it's like a world, a planet, a town, whatever. I think it was specifically like a place you can't leave, right? Like if you're like born there, like you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna like get out of here. You can't do that. So if it's a planet, it's like there's no other planets you can like escape to. If it's a city, it's like there's like a wall around it, that kind of thing. It's kind of giving like extremely dystopian, right? But it's giving like medieval townspeople, except there are some people who have like extreme technology. Okay, extreme technology. That doesn't make any sense. Extreme technology. Extreme technology, you know? Yeah. So, essentially, what they have in this world, it's kind of a play on the idea how when people are really interested in like a creative passion, it's like everyone is like so quick to point at them and be like, oh, they must be a narcissist, like they must be like the worst version of humanity, like they must be a narcissist, they must be obsessed with themselves. But then there's also like the real version of like there are just people who are sociopathic, they want to like manipulate you, they want to hurt you for no reason. Like those exist. But we also have, what, that person can juggle apples, they must be a narcissist. Like they think anybody cares about that. What, they went on vacation, they want to tell you about like the cool thing that happened, like they must be a narcissist. Like why are they even talking? Like it's so weird. They always talk about themselves, like they must be a narcissist, right? So we have multiple versions of that in our reality, so I wanted to do like a play on that in this like medieval world where only the people in power have like extremely advanced technology, but nobody else has access to it. Everybody else is just like, they don't know if they're trying to eat an apple out of somebody else's trash, but that's like the average person, like based on like intelligence though. And so it's also a weird play on like how the idea that sometimes it seems like only people who have technology can have like intelligence. So I wanted to combine all of that, create The Flame in the Mirror, which is about scientists creating this piece of technology that it's just like a glowing neon sign and it has like rainbow colors and stuff. It's very much like trying to attract the raisin-brained townspeople to try to get as much attention from them as possible. But the point of it is that this sign, it's supposed to be like this, I don't know, like, you know what, in culture you have like the emerald tablets, or like, I don't know another version, but you'll have like this object that's been sort of saved throughout time, and it's supposed to have like magical potential. There's something this object is self-autonomous to do that nothing else can do. But like some scientist somewhere just created it, but it's also just this basically like a giant iPad, and it glows rainbow colors, but nobody else understands it. But guess what? Basically this object is allowed to be just like an AI device that like randomly selects, or nobody knows if it's random or if it's based on something specific, right? It will randomly select townspeople and just like it'll display their name, but it's like the most shameful thing that could ever happen, because it's essentially saying that they are so bad of a narcissist that like they would even like the validation of this extremely shameful moment in front of everybody. So they can't be exiled from society, but the equivalent basically happens to them because everybody is so stupid in the society that they just allow it to happen. Like, they allow, like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know, I was almost gonna go so many different ways, and then I was like, maybe not. But I was like, maybe let me just make this a video about this one song because I think this is cool, but like, let me just do that for some reason. And I was thinking about, like, you know, I don't know, so many things led me to this, but then I was like, let me just make it only about the song and just let it be that. Let me just let that be the moment. But yeah, it's kind of like everything seems, this sign goes on for however long, like randomly selecting people. Everybody will instantly hate that person because everybody's like stupid, like they just go with it. Anything they're told, they go with. But this is like an AI device that like chooses your destiny for you, essentially. Like, what are the odds that you're going to be chosen? And then everybody's just going to hate you because you were chosen. But you don't understand it yourself, so you might think it's true. Like, because everybody's kind of on the same level except for like the people in power over them. So they're even at risk of just believing it about themselves. But anyway, people will consult this device, this mirror, right? It's essentially a mirror, but it's just like an AI like iPad that's like giant, like something like that. Again, with like rainbow glowing lights, so people can't even look away. But it's also, that's part of like the shaming. It's like, oh, you would even like you, I bet you would even like being on this displayed object. Like, you would even enjoy this. It's kind of like the ultimate, like, oh, like, you know, I bet even you would like this, even though everybody's gonna hate you forever. But yeah, and they would consult this object before like events like weddings or auditions for anything, or because it's also like a normal society in a way, even though everyone's stupid and they just blindly go with everything. Like, yeah. And before like sentencing for like crimes, for example, they'll check if you're like a narcissist to society right now, even though it's just AI generated and it kind of never goes away. And then things start to kind of like take an uptick when there's a Dalmatian who's accused of looking for too long into her own water bowl, and she's the next narcissist. And this is also when we start to see a spiritual aspect of this device. Like, it's not only self-autonomous to choose a person, but it's also, there's now evidence that it's using some kind of actual spiritual method, like as if there's really just an invisible eye like watching you all the time, but it's so critical of you that if you accidentally like look at your reflection in water, you're the next one. But that can even happen to a dog, even though dogs don't understand. And then we get to the point where, you know, children cried at first, but damn, I'm like really spoiling it, but I'm like, children cried at first, but like soon afterwards they were just laughing about it, talking about it, drawing pictures of a Dalmatian on fire because it was essentially like burned at the stake at this point, because that's one of the things that can happen. You can get the death penalty for being randomly selected as a narcissist by an AI generated method. So you can be burned at the stake if that's what's decided for your sentencing, because there can be sentencing depending on how bad they think you are. There can be sentencing, even though it can be anybody at any moment, and you don't know what you're doing to cause it. You don't know if you're causing it. Yeah, and basically the adults were like, once in a while they would just be like, oh, wasn't that strange? But nobody would answer them, so they just kept moving along, and they didn't care. They were just like, well, I did ask if this was strange, but nobody answered me, so it didn't matter. And that's it for that song. But may the gods help whoever inspired this song or inspired me to make this video talking about it right now. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you like this little like behind the scenes of what it's about. I love you. Bye.